Welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kyahva Tezino. Also, Jaylen Warren left this week's preseason game with a hamstring injury, and now his week 1 status is in doubt. Also, there's an update on JJ Watt potentially joining the Pittsburgh Steelers or making a return to the NFL. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they went out and signed linebacker Kyahva Tezino, and let's start there. So, with a number of injuries on the roster, the Pittsburgh Steelers were expected to make at least one move on Monday during the team's off day, and that's what Omar Khan did. He just went out and signed an inside linebacker, signed a linebacker in Kyahva Tezino on Monday, and that lands the former Pittsburgh Mauler out of the USFL. And now he's a Pittsburgh Steelers. So, previously, Tezino, he worked out with the Atlanta Falcons on August 16th, but went unsigned. Now he will land with the Steelers. So looking at Tezino, he spent the 2024 UFL season with the Brahma Stallions. And the 6', 235-pound linebacker went undrafted in the 2020 NFL draft when he came out of San Diego State and landed with the New England Patriots as an undrafted free agent. He only spent a few months down there in New England before being waived in July of 2020, and then he quickly got claimed by the Carolina Panthers. But then the Panthers, they ultimately ended up waiving him a month later from August of 2020 to July of 2023. Tezino was out of the NFL, sticking in the USFL with the Maulers. Tezino was drafted in the 31st round of the USFL draft by the Maulers. This was ahead of the 2022 season, and during the 2022 season, he tailed a team-high 94 tackles and 2 interceptions. So, Tezino, he comes over, and in 2023 of July, Tezino got his first shot in the NFL again, since he was out of the NFL for years. He signed with the San Francisco 49ers. He spent a month with San Francisco going through training camp before being released in final cutdowns. During his time with the Niners, Tezino played 23 snaps in the preseason last summer, grading out a 51.8 overall from PFF, also including a 71.2 against the run and 35.5 against the pass. He had just one assisted tackle during the preseason in 2023 for the 49ers, and for the Niners, he allowed just one reception on 11 yards on one target per PFF. So now, the Pittsburgh Steelers needing some bottom of the roster players, especially with linebackers Tyler Medikavich and Peyton Wilson getting banged up from the preseason game where they had to leave it early, with Peyton Wilson being in the concussion protocol, I believe, and then Tyler getting injured as well. Coming out of the preseason game against the Bills, the Steelers needed to sign just an inside linebacker for the depth reasons, just to play maybe in the next preseason game, in practice and things like that. And they went out and they signed this guy in Kyahva Tezino. So just looking at his stats in college before we wrap it up on him and move over to the next topic of this video. In college at SDSU, Tezino appeared in 48 games with 31 starts, registered 290 tackles, 15.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, 8 pass defense, and 4 forced fumbles. He was named first team All-Mountain West in back-to-back seasons in 2018 and 2019 with the Aztecs. So Tezino clocked a 4.67 40-yard dash time coming out of college, and that is his introduction to you. Introduction to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he is a player who's going to come in, like I said, be the bottom of the barrel type of player, where he's going to come in and practice, do his thing, come in the preseason, maybe play a lot of reps in the final preseason game if people don't end up playing, if people are injured. So he'll have a chance to either make this practice squad with how he's performing, make a different team's practice squad if he performs very well, or make another team's roster if he performs very well, but more than likely he won't make this team. He's coming in way too late, not enough time to make this team. But if he shows out, maybe he gets another chance down the road. If the Steelers need someone gets injured down the road in the season, if something happens, then maybe he comes back and makes a reappearance with this team. But as of right now, he's just a camp body, I believe. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the signing. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And do you think he has a chance to make this roster or practice squad? Or do you not? Now, let's move over to the second topic of this video, it being Jaylen Warren. Because Jaylen Warren got injured and he suffered a hamstring injury in the preseason loss against the Buffalo Bills in week 2 of preseason. And that injury is a hamstring strain. And we all know hamstring strains are really bad in terms of lingering on. And you need to be careful with them. Sometimes they usually take around 4 weeks to heal, or even 6 weeks for it to fully heal. So just say Jaylen Warren does take around 4 or somewhere around there, that puts him in jeopardy of missing week 1. And that would be a huge loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Unless it's a very, very minor injury and he's able to return in 2 weeks for the start of the season, then that's a good sign. But usually these hamstring injuries are something you have to worry about because they can linger on and you can re-injure them very, very likely if you don't take care of it. So looking at Jaylen Warren, it puts in jeopardy. And if he does miss week 1, it puts the Pittsburgh Steelers blocking in a very bad sign because their blocking has already been terrible this offseason in the run game, the pass game. So putting Jaylen Warren out of that game, out of the first maybe 2 weeks, if he is dealing with a major hamstring injury, then that blocking at the running back position that he does so good, they're probably one of the best blocking running backs in the league, then the blocking category goes even worse. And Najee Harris has to see much more time on the field, and maybe the Steelers carry another running back into the season if Jaylen Warren is in jeopardy of missing week 1, which he might be because it is a hamstring injury. And like I said, hamstring injuries can be really, really tricky of how you deal with them in terms of time off and the healing process, because you really don't want to go full go with a hamstring injury, but once again, you have to test it to see where it's at, so you really don't know how long it's going to take. Not only is the blocking going to go down for the Steelers, but the running game, the passing game would as well, because we all know Jaylen Warren is an explosive running back between the two of him and Najee Harris, so the explosiveness would go down in the running game. And also looking at his pass catching game, he's a guy who would catch it short and take it long, especially those dump offs to the running back, so that would go down as well. Jaylen Warren averaged like 5 point something yards per carry, so that's a lot of yards per carry, and that's effectiveness, so that would go down as well. So hopefully it's not something major. Hopefully he doesn't miss week 1, but that's kind of the update on him. Now, moving over to the third and final topic of this video, JJ Watt. Because looking at JJ Watt just recently, he posted videos, he posted photos on social media of him working out at the Steelers facility, taking pictures of the Steelers facility and just posting online. And many people are thinking it's maybe hinting, and maybe, just maybe, he's interested in making an NFL return and returning, maybe coming over to the Steelers, playing with his brother for the first time in his NFL career, and maybe his last chance, because now he would be removed from football for quite a while. So would this be the final time? Well, looking at the Pat McAfee show and what Pat McAfee had to say about this topic, because obviously it was brought up, JJ Watt and the Steelers and things like that, because of the photos and stuff, and many people in the rumor world talking about it. So what did Pat McAfee have to say about this? Well, he said that he believes from talking with JJ Watt that this would be the final year that he would actually be willing to come back into the NFL. And here's that quote by him. He said this. Yeah, well, he said that openly. This is the last year. This is the last year that I'll keep my phone on if anyone needs me in the perfect situation. He said that publicly. End quote. So if that's his final year and he's actually willing to come back, he's keeping himself in top football shape. Top shape that he could without actually playing an NFL game. If you look at social media, him posting workout videos and stuff like that, he's keeping himself in shape. And Pat McAfee saying this is the final year, he'll keep his phone on. Well, that's a big deal, because that means that he's at least thinking about returning. He might not actually happen, but this is the final year that he'll actually be willing to maybe do it if something comes up. and playing on the Steelers for TJ Watt and with his brother and being on this team, that would be a big thing for him, his resume, and just probably a lifelong goal or NFL goal of his. So if it happens, it happens. Obviously, looking at this situation, it was rumored years ago of him coming over to the Steelers. Never end up materializing, but now could it? Who knows? Do we need him? Not really. But would it be nice to have him? Yes. Yes, it would. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, both all three topics. Jaylen Warren maybe missing week 1. JJ Watt coming over to the Steelers, posting videos, photos of the Steelers facility, and also the first topic of the new signing. How you feel about all three topics. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, and analysis reports. I covered all. I'll continue covering into the season. So, with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications for this channel. And I'll see you guys all later. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.